Here is the thread I'm introducing this time. Share your real thoughts on retirement versus working. In this thread, 2ch users who are about to retire at an early age discuss the real reality of retirement at an early age. If you are about to retire at an early age and have concerns or worries, or if you want to make plans early, please refer to this. Here you go. Become a retirement age soon. Postings are limited to those who are 159 years old and are expected to be in their prime at 60. I'm 50 years old, but I want to retire at an early age right away. I don't want to work for even a second.
I want to live a leisurely life on just my pension. 4.
Now, I have a lot of things I want to do, so I'm going to live my healthy life to the fullest. List of things I want to do: bike, fishing, hiking, camping, Pokemon, G-car, visiting museums, bar wandering.
Machine blog, hot spring tours, novel writing, personal photo sessions, AI image generation, Kumiku, dancing, idolmaster. Thanks. I don't have anything in particular that I want to do, so maybe I should earn some money. It's tough to have nothing to do during the day. When I retire, I'll have to take care of my parents every day. A friend of mine who went to college and got a white-collar job and currently earns just under 8 million yen a year is planning to quit his job because his salary will be halved after he retires at 60. I'm on a high salary and earn 220,000 yen a month after retirement. The retirement age is 65, and after 65, if you wish, you can extend your employment and your salary will remain the same. My friend's salary is higher than mine even if he takes a 50% cut, so I'm trying to stop him because I think it would be a waste. If the work is hard, then I can't help it, but it seems like he doesn't want to stay even if he loses his position and becomes a regular employee, rather than because his salary will be halved, so it doesn't seem like you can stop him. His children are working adults, and his loans are scheduled to be paid off before he turns 60. I don't
think he'll be in trouble, but it's a waste. Do you hate losing your position that much?
I guess some people find their position an important factor in supporting themselves. Why not?
Just work as usual and see how it goes before quitting.
I have 3 months left to retire. Time seems to be passing by so slowly that it's frustrating. When I
retire, I'll have long hair like Jun Miura. I'm worried about my gray hair, so I'll dye it blonde. 2 more years seems long, but it also seems fast. I thought I had 3 more years, but when I got a job offer for an early retirement, I jumped at the chance. I have 3 more months of paid leave, so I'll actually be leaving you all for 1 month.
I was born in May 1939, so I'll be 60 at the end of May. My company told me I could use up my paid leave, so I won't be going to work this month. I've been
asked to extend my retirement many times, but I decided against it because the salary is ridiculous, with only 40% of full-time work. I have some savings, so I plan to work until I'm 65. What will I do after I retire? If I have nothing to do, my rhythm of life will be disrupted, which will be bad for my health and mental health. I have some savings, but I'm still worried. My hobbies are money-eating things like motorcycles and cars, so if I'm going to continue my current lifestyle, I'll either work until I'm 65 even if my salary goes down, or I'll get rid of them and live a frugal life. I'll have to decide in the next 2 years whether to continue working until I'm 65, even if my salary goes down, or I'll get rid of them and live a frugal life. I'll be making over 3 million yen a year from dividends from my retirement fund and early pension payments, so I'm quitting this year at 60, rather than waiting for the retirement age of 65. If I don't take the early pension payments, I'll have no choice but to start withdrawing from my retirement fund, and I don't want to work until I'm 65. I'm also planning to quit before I reach 65. My pension and investment income are small, but considering my physical condition, which is somehow managing to get by, my healthy life expectancy is likely to be short. Even if I make 3 million yen a year now, the value of that 3 million yen in 20 years will have decreased due to inflation. So I've realized that I need to increase the amount of money I need each year to keep up with inflation. After recalculating, it seems that I'll have to withdraw from my retirement fund and it will run out in about 25 years. But I'm confident that I won't live to be 85, so I'll retire this year as planned. I wonder if I can find out if I ask here. I'll be 60 in 4 years, but is it possible to start receiving a pension starting at 60? For now, I'm fine. If the national pension payment age is extended to 65, I won't be able to receive it, but I think the government is just in time for 4 more years. I'm worried about what will happen at that critical point, but I wonder if it will be implemented in stages. When I think about how long I want to live, I only focus on my health, but recently I've also started to consider the possibility of dying from a natural disaster, especially from a disaster I also didn't think about volcanic eruptions until recently, but now that I live in a country with frequent earthquakes, I think I could die tomorrow. I
have no choice but to work hard for 5 years and 11 months until retirement.
Are you 55 this year? I'm tired of being 55 this year, so I plan to quit next March. This is
no good. I can't learn the job at my new workplace. I'm starting to feel like an idiot. I'm 56
years old and I'm the same. I started working at my current workplace at 54 and I can't learn it very well. I want to quit at 60. I'm
52 now, and while I can still look good, I think I'll be a total idiot if I turn 60 while still being the captain I am now, but I can't help but feel like something might happen between us when we're 55. Before that, I wonder if we'll be able to make it through next year, 2026. The
company I work for has a retirement age of 63, and from 63 to 65, the base salary is cut by 25%. However, the nature of my work doesn't change, so whether I quit at 63 or stay until 65 is up to me. I guess I'll just have to live my life the way I want to. There's hope, as long as I'm alive. The things I've experienced since turning 50, tinnitus,
intermittent heartburn, back pain, shoulder sprains, frozen fingers, eyelids, and post-freezing pressure. Fortunately, I was able to take a lot of care because of the coronavirus pandemic. If I had been working overtime and holidays like I used to, I would have collapsed. It's
exactly the same. In my case, I also have sensitization absences, but
since I turned 50, I've suddenly started to have pain in the joints of my feet and fingers, but they usually heal naturally in 23 days. It might be because of lack of exercise, but I'm
58 years old and have a mild hernia and corona symptoms, so I often take time off from work. I'm hoping I can somehow make it through the next 1 year and 7 months, but there are
many stories of my annual income decreasing significantly at this age. Equal pay for equal work is basically a problem if the work you do is the same. If you become a regular employee and your salary is reduced by 20 to 30%, for example, your working hours and the number of days you work should also be reduced by the same amount. Don't be fooled by your company. It's inevitable that your position allowance will be eliminated after you reach your seniority. At my current company, your position will remain the same even after you turn 55, but instead you'll be transferred to the countryside. I got tired of it from Saitama to Fukushima, and the worst was from Chiba. The section manager who got tired of the path became depressed and quit after a few months. It's a company where the turnover rate within 2 years of joining as a new graduate is 60%. Don't
do such mean things. I've
been working for a non-management company for a long time, but the concept of age for a position doesn't exist. I'm only 2 months away from turning 60, but it's good that I was able to remain a manager. If I wanted to, I could stay a manager until I was 65, but I've saved up a decent amount of retirement funds and I'm tired, so I'll quit at 60. I'm also a non-management company, but I don't have age for a position. The rules for the oldest retirement age and the retirement rules are also vague. I'm looking forward to seeing what conditions are put forward. I've been asked to do the same work full-time with the same responsibilities at 40% capacity. Many people work under those conditions, but it's against the law. I'm pretty sure that equal pay for equal work has been ruled in court, so if a lawsuit is filed later, the company could be forced to pay 40% compensation. The useless HR person should be the one who gets fired. I'll
be turning 60 in July, but after retirement, I'll be a full-time employee, so the content and amount of work will remain the same, and my responsibilities and everything will remain the same. Fortunately, my base salary will remain the same, and my monthly income will be the same as before, but the bonus is fixed at 100,000 yen and 150,000 yen for the current term, which is significantly lower than the previous year. Naturally, the annual income will be the amount of the reduced bonus. Does this mean that my company is in violation of the equal pay for equal work policy? Or is the bonus excluded? Since bonuses for regular employees depend on the company, it can't be helped if the regular employee ratio is clearly stated in the termination rules or wage regulations. It's unfair to decide the ratio based on the likes and dislikes of HR or the president without it being clearly stated, so there are some issues to be addressed. I received a minimum employment contract from the company 6 months ago, checked the employment details, and selected minimum employment. I have the minimum employment contract in my hand now, and while the basic amount is clearly stated, there is no mention of bonuses at all. When I talked to my colleagues at work, they said that my juniors are doing the exact same job, but they are being treated badly. The senior employees who are the most senior employees are the most senior employees. They said it can't be helped, and I think my motivation for work has decreased. Are there places where the winter bonus is higher? At my place, it was the same amount everywhere.
I think most places generally give higher bonuses in the winter. It's
normal for people with the highest level of employment to have low motivation. On the other hand, I've never seen a psychotic employee with high motivation. Apparently,
there's something called the Senior Employment Continuation Benefit for people with the highest level of employment. If you apply, you might be able to get a little bit of a pay raise.
My salary doesn't go down that much, so it's not really an issue. If your salary goes down to 60% or less, you'll get 15% of the salary reduction. The original is employment insurance. Up.
Until now, you thought you were doing your job like everyone else. But when you're transferred after your mid-50s, you really start to realize how little you can remember about your job. I'm
58, but I was transferred to my current department last year when I was 57. I told my boss that I was quitting at 60 because it was difficult and I couldn't keep up with the pace, and a few months later, he transferred me to another department that seemed a better fit. The correct transfer is to be on the same level of employment after retirement. The company that accepts you doesn't want you to quit right away, so in the end, I couldn't quit at 60. I
Wonder if people with the highest level of employment are counted as one person in your company? My company's financial position is apparently $0.5. It's not given much importance. Isn't it like a roundabout way of saying, please stop cutting my salary when I'm still employed? Especially if it's a 40% cut. In a sense, it is, but it's attractive for the company to continue employing knowledgeable, skilled, and experienced employees at low prices. So if you're okay with these conditions, they're saying, we welcome you. It's illegal to cut salaries for the same job.
I'm going to negotiate, but the retirement age may be extended to 65 in 2 years, but it's national policy to hire people at a younger age because they have no choice. So I guess that's the same for all companies. In rural areas, there's a low birth rate and an aging population, so all companies are short of staff. Retirement is a way for companies to secure valuable resources. It's not like they're just saying, please offer me a new job. I'm
being strongly discouraged, but I plan to quit at 60. Please, tell them. The company will continue to run normally without me.
Well, it doesn't matter how important you are. It'll all work out somehow. If you
want to quit, you don't have to keep going. Life will work out somehow. Before I knew it, I was less than 6 months away from retirement. For the first time in my life, I'm really conscious of turning 20. I'll
be finishing up next spring too, and I feel a little lonely. When I think about the people around me quitting first and wondering if I'll be next, it really hits home.
But to be honest, when I'm suddenly told it's my retirement date, it still doesn't really sink in. I hadn't thought about what I was going to do after I retired. It'll free me from the grind of work, but at the same time, I'll have to figure everything out for myself. I thought that retiring at 20 would be the start of a new life, but I've come to realize that this start is full of anxiety. I've actually seen a few people who have retired, and they're polar opposites. Some seem really relaxed, while others are panicking.
Yeah, I know. The ones who seem relaxed seem to have prepared in advance. I
wonder if I should just let 2020 roll around like this. I've started to worry about it seriously recently. Should I do something now? I've been searching the internet because I'm worried, but there's so much information that it's making me even more confused.
2020 isn't just a turning point, it's a crossroads where the rules of life change drastically. It
feels like the common sense of the past no longer applies. There's no salary, there's plenty of time, but there's also a lot of anxiety. I heard
that a friend's wife was angry the day after she retired, asking why she hadn't done any research. There are so many systems out there that you'll lose out on just because you didn't know about them. To begin with, I don't even know what I should check before I start working. That's the problem. No one will tell me. I
want to know that too. Is it still too late? If you research and take action, you won't lose out. If anyone has retired, please tell me what to do. Did you
know that you can choose how you receive your retirement benefits? I retired without knowing that. Don't you get it all at once? Are there other options? You can get it all at once as a lump sum or in installments as a pension. There's also a combination option that's in between. You get part of it as a lump sum and the rest as a pension. I've
heard about that, but to be honest, I had no idea which option was more advantageous. Apparently, the pension option has more investment liquidity, so the total amount you receive is higher. But there are also stories that say that taxes and insurance premiums will increase, so your take-home pay will decrease. Oh man, that's annoying. So in the end, it all comes down to which is more profitable. If you receive it as a lump sum, you can reduce your taxes considerably because of the employment income allowance. Many people who have worked for 40 years or so live within the tax-free range even if they receive it as a lump sum.
I used to be a lump sum person, but when you get money all at once, you really get cocky. I ended up buying a big TV and upgrading my house to celebrate my retirement. Retirement benefits are the biggest windfall of your life. It's no wonder you're spending more.
People who are afraid of the risk of receiving lump sum retirement benefits might be better off with a pension.
But I've heard rumors that if you receive a pension, you won't get the rest if you die. Seriously? Apparently.
Some of it goes to your surviving family, but depending on the terms of the contract, it could be zero.
So it all depends on how long you live. It's like a bombing. If you have a house left after retirement, it might be a good idea to pay it back in a lump sum. That's
what I did. The interest rate is not cheap, and the lump sum repayment has reduced my monthly expenses, making things much easier.
If I need a large sum of money, such as for my children's school fees, I would only choose the lump sum payment.
In the end, it all comes down to what you prioritize. It's the ultimate way to get cash on hand. It
also depends on whether or not you plan to work after retirement. If you work and earn money, you may lose out on insurance premiums and taxes with a pension plan. The pension plan is treated as miscellaneous income and is added to your regular salary, causing your taxes and insurance premiums to increase dramatically.
If you receive a supplementary income in the year you receive your retirement benefits, the burden of resident tax and national insurance will be enormous. I have an acquaintance who was in despair because his social insurance premiums increased by that amount when he earned around 200,000 yen a month as a regular employee.
Both resident tax and national insurance would skyrocket. On the other hand, the lump sum payment is treated as occupational income, so the deductions are large and the tax burden is light.
Even if you have a 2% investment income, it's meaningless if you have to pay that amount. It
all depends on your lifestyle. If you want to reduce fixed costs, you might go for the lump sum payment. And if you want to save little by little, you might go for the pension plan.
But if you're having trouble deciding, the Hyo type might be the safer option. You can secure a lump sum of money and pay the rest in installments, which can also be a long-term measure. Can you decide the ratio yourself? It
depends on the company, but you might be able to choose 28 or 55. You should check the company's regulations carefully. There are cases where you make a bad decision and can't change it later.
With Mom, it really doesn't matter which one you choose. My
boss told me to take the lump sum for now and never join in. If you spend all your money in the second half of your life, you'll be out of luck. If you can get advice, it might be a good idea to get a financial planner. Retirement funds are the core of your retirement funds, so the way you choose can change your life 20 years from now. The first thing that made me panic after I retired was when I was told at the hospital that I couldn't use my insurance if I applied for it.
My senior did the same thing. You can't use your insurance the day after you retire.
Health insurance automatically ends when you quit your job. So if you don't get a new insurance policy as soon as you retire, you'll be uninsured. So what should I do after I retire? It's not like I have only one option, right? There
are 4 options. In order of most advantageous, they are family members who don't need insurance, and special retirement-only continuation of national health insurance.
Don't need insurance mean I'll be on my wife's insurance or something? If your
spouse is an employee, you can enroll in this non-insurance plan and your insurance amount will be 0. However, the conditions are very strict, such as an annual income of 1.8 million yen or less. Furthermore, it is
determined by the annual income of the pension plan, so surprisingly many people are not eligible.
Even if you do enroll in
non-insurance.
I heard that you have to apply sometime after you leave your job. If you're
too hesitant, it can quickly become a hassle.
What's the next most advantageous option? Special retirement. It's a special retirement benefit insurer.
People who have been members of a health insurance association for 20 years or more can enroll in the same insurance until they are 75 years old. That's
great. Does that mean I can use the insurance under the same conditions even if I quit my job? Furthermore, non-insurance family members can enroll for free, so it's a great deal if you meet the conditions. However, this system is only available to associations of large companies. In many cases, small and medium-sized companies do not have such a system in the first place. So you need to check in advance whether your company supports the special system. The third option is voluntary continuation, right? It's a system that allows you to stay in the same health insurance for up to 2 years after quitting your job. It's a nice system that allows you to receive the same services as when you were an employee and also includes unnecessary items. The insurance amount will increase a little though. You'll have to pay the entire cost yourself since the company subsidy will be gone. Well, it's said that in many cases it's cheaper to live than with national insurance.
So you could continue voluntarily for 2 years and then switch to national insurance.
That might be the most realistic option. My older brother went that route too.
So the last option is national health insurance.
Anyone can join, but there are rumors that the insurance amount for the first year is incredibly high. That's right. The insurance premium is determined by the previous year's income, so the year of retirement is calculated as if your annual income is higher. If you
received a retirement allowance, wouldn't that be counted too? It's
possible. Furthermore, the resident tax is based on the same logic and is based on the previous year's income.
In other words, the period immediately after retirement is the time when you'll spend the most money. That's not funny.
I didn't know about this and joined the national health insurance right after I started working, and I ended up with an annual insurance premium of 400,000 yen, which made me cry. To avoid that, you should research all your options before you retire. It's
true that you lose out if you don't know about the system. I never thought about it being unnecessary either. It's scary if there's a period of time when you're not covered by insurance. If you get injured during that time, it's all over.
My friend got sick with a cold and had to pay 20,000 yen at the hospital while still uninsured. There
really aren't many funny stories. I should check with my company too. It's scary how your income can change by hundreds of thousands of yen just because you know about it or not.
Do you get unemployment insurance after you retire? I
thought it wouldn't matter because I get a pension, but apparently not.
I thought so too. But when I looked it up, I was surprised to find out that there's a system that even people over 65 can get it. It's
called the Senior Citizen Lunch Benefit. It's apparently separate from regular unemployment insurance. It's
Confusing because the names are similar. Apparently, if you're under 65, you get the regular unemployment allowance, but if you're over 65, it's a separate category.
By the way, you can't receive the unemployment allowance for those under 65 at the same time as your pension. That
can't be true. I thought you could retire and receive your pension while also receiving the unemployment insurance. You
can't receive the basic allowance. Even though your pension is temporarily suspended, you can receive the senior citizen school lunch allowance at the same time, so it might be better for those over 65. That
said, the amount of the allowance is apparently quite small, just over 100,000 yen for about 3 months.
Still, isn't it better than nothing? It would be nice if it could help even a little. Were there any conditions for receiving it? It's not something you receive automatically. The conditions are that you have been enrolled in employment insurance for at least 6 months and that you have a work stone. What do you mean by having a work stone? You
also need to go to the Hello Work office and prove that you are involved in school lunch activities.
Even though it's called a work stone, does it have nothing to do with whether you actually work or not? Apparently, they just look at your attitude towards school lunch activities. Things like taking interviews and attending Hello Work seminars.
No, when you retire at a certain age, you'd rather take a break than look for a job. There's just a gap between the system's design and reality. An
acquaintance of mine said that he couldn't receive the benefits because the application was delayed. It's all about the timing of the application. If you don't act immediately after leaving your job, you may not make it in time.
Also, if you plan to work for a long-term employment, the contents of the separation notice are also quite important.
Depending on the reason for leaving, the waiting period may be longer or the benefits may be delayed. I believe that.
If you leave for company reasons, you'll receive the benefits right away, but if you leave for personal reasons, you'll have to wait 3 months. It's a bit depressing that you'll be eligible for the benefits the moment you quit your job. But if you don't do anything, you won't get anything. You should take what you can get. Your
family should go and apply for the benefits. The typical route is to get told that and then get pushed to take action.
I reluctantly applied for the benefits when my wife told me to, but she was surprisingly kind enough to tell me. I'm
thinking of getting a part-time job after I quit. I think I'll look into the procedures in advance. By the way, it's a good idea to work overtime for the 6 months before you quit.
What do you mean by work overtime? The
amount of benefits for the employment insurance is determined by the average salary and leave for the 6 months before you quit. I had reduced my work for half a year before I started working. That's a big deal. It's
called a basic allowance, and it's calculated based on the daily wage. If it's higher, the daily wage allowance will also increase.
So, conversely, does that mean that people who have been idle for 6 months will get less pay? That's right. Be careful, because it will also be affected if you took sick leave just before. The amount is
calculated based on overtime, night shift allowance, and initial allowance, so it's better to earn as much as possible. However, bonuses are not included. Many people misunderstand that. Specifically, the total salary for the 6 months before starting work is divided by 180, and then multiplied by 0.50.8 to get the final amount. That's why you end up working more overtime than you think. By the way, do you know how many months you can receive unemployment insurance? It
depends on your age and the number of years you've worked. But if you're over 60 and have worked for 20 years or more, you can get up to 150 days' work.
Also, you should check your pension carefully. You'll need to know how much you can receive from what age. Did you
know about the special Palace Old Age Pension? It's a
pension that you can receive before you turn 65 under certain conditions. For example, men born before April 1st, 1961.
I had completely forgotten about that. And when I got the notice from the pension office, I was like, am I getting paid? Apparently, there are quite a few people who can receive it if they have been enrolled in the employee's pension insurance for 25 years or more. But the catch is that you won't get paid unless you apply. I only found out after I retired that it's not automatically deposited. I want to punch my old self who thought it would start automatically when I turned 60. The
system for the working age pension is also complicated. It's the one where your pension is reduced if you work while receiving it.
I actually got it reduced because of that. I was told that if you earn more than 280,000 yen a month, you're out. It's
been relaxed a little since 2025, but if you earn more than 510,000 yen, your pension will be reduced. It's not like the entire amount over the limit is reduced, but rather a fixed percentage is cut.
But it feels like you're losing out somehow. I can't accept that my pension is reduced even though I'm working.
Furthermore, this is determined on a monthly basis, so if you temporarily exceed the limit due to a small lump sum, it will have an impact, And if you plan to work for a pension plan, you need to research this system in advance or you'll be in trouble. A senior colleague at my company didn't know this and had a high pension income, so he was shocked when his pension ended up being zero. That's
why it's a must to check how much you'll receive and when you'll start receiving it before you retire. You do
get regular pension payments, but I've never actually looked at them. Do you?
know about PensionNet? It's a convenient service that lets you check your pension amount on your smartphone. I was
Shocked when I checked it and it was less than I expected. It's seriously more realistic than looking at it on paper. It also shows you a prediction of your future benefits, so I think there are a lot of people who still haven't registered for it. I've been
thinking lately that money in the second half of your life is the scariest thing, even though you don't know anything about it. The
pension system is complicated, but you need to make sure you understand the parts that affect you. Did you
know that it's better to retire at the end of the month? I
think I've heard that before, but I don't know the reason. It's because the
burden of social insurance premiums changes. If you quit at the end of the month, you'll be covered by the company. But if you quit on any other day, you'll be responsible for the entire cost. That can
be right. Just a few days can change the amount you have to pay.
If you quit at a time other than the end of the month, you'll have to pay for your health insurance and pension out of pocket for that month.
And insurance isn't calculated by the day. So even if you're only employed for one day of the month, it's treated as a full month's pay. If your quitting date is the 28th, it's the worst. You'll end up wishing you had just waited a few more days. And the
company won't tell you. It's a system that only benefits those who know. Seriously.
Quitting at the end of the year is really important. Do you have to think about it by the year, not the month?
The company does the year-end adjustment, so you don't have to file your own tax return. If you quit in January or February, you'll have to file everything yourself. The
procedures are also complicated for those who have medical expense deductions. It's hell to have to gather documents and get a list of carefully selected tax forms. I
hate the idea of having to deal with tax documents just because of the date you quit.
I have an acquaintance who quit on January 5th and had trouble filing his tax return because he couldn't get his year-end adjustment done.
What a waste. It's only a matter of a few days. But no one tells you this when deciding on your salary. Both your boss and HR can decide when they want to do it. That's
when knowledge you find online comes in handy. If you remember to retire at the end of the month, if possible, at the end of the year, it makes a big difference. I'd
rather retire at the end of the year and start the new year feeling refreshed. I've heard that some people
even worry about the transfer of the salary. If your
retirement is treated as income for that year, your taxes may go up. What the heck?
This system is useless. I want to punch my past self for not knowing this. I
wish I had applied for a card before I retired. I still regret it. I'm
the same. I applied for a card after I retired and was rejected right away.
When you're unemployed, you're treated as untrustworthy. You're turned away just because you have no money. It doesn't
matter how much savings you have. They only look at where you work now. I was disappointed when
I applied for a card a week after I retired and got an email saying I didn't meet the screening criteria. I thought credit cards were something you could use for the rest of your life, so I never thought I'd be rejected because of fading. I've heard
stories of people whose cards were stopped being renewed because their attributes had changed. I
should have gotten one while I was still earning money. I can't do anything once I retire, honestly.
I had Rakuten and Saison cards while I was still working, and another one just in case. I
should have gotten at least one of mine. When I tried to book a trip after I retired, I was told I needed a card, so I gave up.
Even online shopping now requires card payments. It's a bit inconvenient if you don't have one. I've
heard that it's even harder to get approved once you retire. It's apparently
really tough after you're 60. Apparently, some people even work as contract employees once just to get approved. It's
more important to be conscious of getting one while you can still get approved than to rely on points or cashback. And it's the same with a hotel. Even if you want to move after you retire, you probably won't get approved. It's unfair that you can pay the rent but get rejected without a place to work.
So does that mean it's better to move before you retire? It's
better to lower your rent or move to a place that suits you better while you still have an income. There are earned senior housing options, but your options will be much narrower. It seems like the
freedom you have after you quit your job isn't really that free. You realize how much your social credibility is determined by your affiliation after you quit. The
gap period until you start receiving your pension is also quite inconvenient. In the meantime, having a card and a place to live are really important.
If you're still at work, apply for a card tomorrow. Seriously.
Retirement isn't just about quitting your job. It's too late to panic after you quit, in this world. There are too many things you'll lose out on if you don't know, rather than things you need to do. It's too much of a
design where people who don't know will lose out if you don't know, to just say it's your own responsibility. The
scary thing is that there are so many things you can't do anything about after you retire.
On the contrary, aren't those of you reading this right now already winners? If you use our failures as a stepping stone to get ready, that's good enough. Just remember that what you can do before retirement is something you can never do again.
How are you all spending your time after retirement?
Let's talk about your daily life after retirement. It's been half a year since I became a full-time employee, but for some reason I still wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. I guess it's just gotten used to it. On the
contrary, I just end up lazing around. I have nothing to do when I wake up. Sometimes I don't even get out of bed when the weather is bad. I know what you mean. There have been more days when I don't go out at all on rainy days. I should probably at least go for a walk.
I take a 30-minute walk after breakfast, but lately my knees have been hurting so much that it's hard to walk. The doctor said it's because of my age. I've
made more friends at the orthopedic clinic. It's surprisingly refreshing to be able to chat with people in the town. Maybe hospitals are actually social gathering places.
I was playing baseball with an old guy the first had never met before in a group room the other day. When I used to commute to work, I would never talk to a stranger, but now I feel like talking to anyone. I go
a little crazy when I don't talk to anyone for a few days. Just hearing the cashier at the supermarket say thank you makes me feel relieved. I have a set morning routine. I wash my face, run the washing machine, clean the garden, and have coffee. It's the same thing. I vacuum, mop, and clean the bathroom twice a week. My wife and I completely share the housework. I do the cooking, my wife does the cleaning, so it's about a 50-50 split. I
do everything in my house. Since my wife retired, she's been aggressive and tries to make me do everything. I wonder why. As
soon as I became an adult, people start treating me like I'm the only one. They think that quitting my job means I have a lot of free time. I don't have a lot of free time. I have so much to do that every day goes by in a flash.
Weeding is the hardest part. There's no mist when weeding. Even if you do it, it will grow back.
You can also ask a senior citizen to do it for you. I asked them once, and they were surprisingly cheap and polite. My knees are at their limit.
In the end, the hardest part is losing your physical strength. Even if you think you can still do it in your head, your body just can't keep up. I
used to look forward to going to the movies and traveling, but now I get tired just from the travel, so I've stopped doing them. Traveling takes a lot of energy. It's especially hell in the summer, so I go to the nearby IO.
Even just sitting around in the food court at Eon for an hour or so is a great way to change my mood. No
matter what, places with people are calming. But the temptation to shop is such that I end up buying unnecessary things. For me, just buying frozen takoyaki is like a little event. I
turn off the lights and quietly enjoy the obscene things I've made of my convenience store suit. I
have a rule that I go to the supermarket twice a week.
I do the same thing, and it saves money. In the end, life is a collection of small, subtle ideas. There are
no flashy pleasures, but it's quiet. I've been staying home since I gave up, but lately my legs have been feeling heavy at night. I think it's called locomotive syndrome. Locomotive syndrome refers to a condition in which the mobility of the locomotor system, such as bones, joints, and muscles, is impaired. When the function of the locomotor system declines, it becomes difficult to perform actions such as standing up and walking, increasing the risk of developing a disease. I get out of breath just by climbing stairs. Maybe I should install handrails in my house. My parents' house has a winding staircase, and it's seriously dangerous. I get the most nervous when I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. My house has one toilet per night, but I have to go up 2 stairs, so I end up having to go downstairs anyway. So I limit my fluids before going to bed. But if I do that, I end up increasing the risk of dehydration and cerebral infarction.
I wake up once in the middle of the night. I can't stand the urge to go to the bathroom. My poor urine output has gotten worse. I'm taking medicine though. I've
heard of a Chinese herbal medicine called hachimi. Whether it's effective or not depends on the person. I don't want to go to the hospital because it's not cheap.
Apparently, there are quite a few medicines for troubles that are covered by insurance these days. But even so, I still end up spending 20,000 yen a month on the hospital bed.
My pension is 130,000 yen a month, but hospital stays and rent take away 70,000 yen. My pension is just over 90,000 yen. How am I supposed to live? That's why I keep using my insurance. I keep my salary to around 150,000 yen to avoid the working age pension. What is the working age pension again? The financial old age pension is a system in which part of the pension is suspended if the total salary and pension of working seniors over the age of 60 exceeds 510,000 yen. The pension is subject to suspension, and the basic old age pension is not reduced. So I guess some people are saving money, but I've also seen people who work full-time and had their pensions drastically reduced. It's tough because it doesn't increase later, so you just end up losing out. The system is just too complicated. No one explains it carefully.
In the end, you just have to look it up yourself. Being an old man is an information war. I've been
so bored lately that I've started playing Poika. I get about 3,000 yen a month for answering surveys.
There are quite a few people who do that. I shop on point sites. My
smartphone is old and slow. I want to replace it, but my budget is tight. Me too. I don't think it's a good idea to upgrade now, but the internet is so slow that it's frustrating.
Smartphone communication costs aren't cheap either. I was able to buy a cheap SIM card, but it still costs over 2,000 yen a month. It's much cheaper than it used to be, but now even 2,000 yen is something to save. I
enjoyed everything I did for the first year after retirement. Lately, I've even lost track of the days of the week. There was a time when I didn't realize it was Sunday until I watched Seizi-san. I
totally understand that feeling. It's only when I watch the Sunday news special that I realize it's the weekend.
But strangely enough, I wake up at 6 a.m. The body clock is amazing. Even if I wake up at 7 a.m., I have nothing to do, so the 2 hours until 9 a.m. feel unusually long. When I was working, 9 a.m. was already a time when I was tired. Lately, I've been using morning dramas as my alarm clock. When it's over, I have zero motivation, but
at first I was particular about breakfast, but gradually I've
become more casual about it. I just toast some bread and have coffee. At home, I have frozen rice balls and miso soup. It's easy to make and fills my stomach. Maybe it's curry that's making eating so troublesome. That's for sure. I can't even tell the difference between flavors these days. Maybe it's my taste buds. Taste buds are a condition in which the sense of taste becomes dull or difficult to perceive. One or more of the 5 basic tastes, sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami, become weak or disappear. What causes this? It can be caused by various illnesses or side effects such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and anemia, as well as stress and nutritional deficiencies. I like my food heavily seasoned, so sometimes it's a little too salty, but if I complain, he'll get upset, so I keep quiet.
Couples are like that sometimes. At home, the conversations with the kids over breakfast are like hell.
On the contrary, I feel better when I don't talk. I feel strangely calm when I eat alone.
Socializing is difficult. I feel like I've suddenly lost touch with people since I retired.
Even when I meet acquaintances, I don't know what to talk about. Sometimes I go out for drinks with old coworkers, but we never find anything to talk about.
I wanted to interact with people, so I joined a beginner's class, but there were more women than I thought, so it was hard to relax.
I had no one to talk to, so I started talking to the altar at home. My father used to do it and I laughed, but now I think I understand.
I think just having something to cling to is a strength.
Since I quit my job, I've started thinking a little bit about the afterlife. I bought an end-of-life notebook, but it's been a year since I left. I know I should write it down, but I'm scared to write it down.
I've seen stories about loneliness on the news, and I've started to think that I could end up like this too. It's not just someone else's problem anymore. I
think if you had the chance to talk to someone even once a week, your mental stability would be completely different. I've
gotten used to making small talk at the hospital reception. There are days when I wouldn't say a word if it weren't for that. Apparently just talking stimulates the brain. They call that cognitive reserve. Cognitive reserve refers to an individual's latent ability to suppress cognitive decline even when affected by brain pathology or illness. The idea is that even if there is brain damage or illness, cognitive decline can be delayed depending on the experiences and how the brain has been used up to that point.
I see. So just talking can help prevent dementia. Maybe being able to talk here today is a sign of failure. I've been having trouble
seeing small letters lately. I need a magnifying glass to even read the newspaper. I've set the font size on my smartphone to the maximum. Presbyopia can be surprisingly stressful. I
panic when I couldn't see the menu when I was eating out.
My hearing has been getting worse lately. My wife's voice isn't getting through to me anymore. In my house, I can hear too much, which is a problem. I can hear everything on the TV in the next room. Each physical decline is small, but when they pile up, it takes a toll on you. I used to be able to laugh it off and say it's just because I'm old, but lately it's been kind of heavy. I've been rewatching old home videos, and the nostalgia of remembering the tone of my voice, the atmosphere, and the energetic days is so healing. I've been pulling out old records and listening to them.
I recently found a drawing I did when I was younger in the closet. It's not very good, but it made me want to cry. I used to
draw on the sound of salt too. It's embarrassing to read it now, but I feel like that old me is still inside me. Memories can surprisingly be a source of support in life. But there's also something scary about clinging too much to them, because you can't move forward. It's
true that sometimes the present feels empty when you only look back on the past. I've
started writing in a diary. Even if it's short, just writing down what I did today somehow makes the day seem meaningful. I think I'll give it a
try, but I think I'll give it a try after 3 days.
These days, you can even write a diary on your smartphone using voice input, which is convenient. But I'd be embarrassed if someone saw what I wrote. I'd end up sounding like a ranting idiot. But when I look back at those casual records later, they're surprisingly interesting. I realize I was struggling at the time too. I felt the smell of the hair and flowers so strongly, but I didn't feel that way when I was still active.
The word ceremony has become more relatable to me than it used to be. In spring, just looking at the flowers in the park near my house can fill me with joy for a whole day.
Lately, when I look at the flowers outside, I've started to think that this might be the last time I do it this year. I'm
single, but I'm starting to fear the night. When it gets dark, I suddenly feel lonely, and anxiety and fear come flooding in. If I don't turn on the TV, I can't help but worry about the room. I can't help but feel like I might die without anyone noticing. I always have the radio on. Just hearing someone talking makes me feel at ease. I try to
read a book before going to bed. Even a short story can calm my mind.
Reading takes my mind back to the past and the future.
Every night, I write in my diary that nothing happened that day, but I think that's okay. Nothing is peaceful in itself. In the past, I used to feel anxious because I had to do something, but now there are more days when I feel like I don't have to do anything. That feeling is important. I've recently come to truly believe that just being alive is a great thing.
Lately, I've been feeling strangely anxious because I don't have anything to do after waking up in the morning. My mental state is at its lowest right after waking up. Apparently, that's
called the cortisol awakening response. The cortisol awakening response refers to the natural rise in cortisol after about 30 to 5 minutes, followed by a subsequent decrease within 60 minutes. This is a physiological response in which the brain's mentor, issues a command to release cortisol to wake up the body for daytime activities. The moment I wake up, I'm faced with a blank space, wondering what to do today. That's why I fall back asleep. And in the afternoon, I read the news in bed, forcing myself to take in information. There are days when I don't get out of bed if the weather is bad. When I see the gray sky, I feel depressed. It's
true that the weather can affect my mental state. If I open the curtains and it's cloudy, I sometimes just close them and go back to sleep.
For rainy days, I play videos of campfire sounds on YouTube. They're
super calming. Apparently, the sounds of nature are surprisingly healing. I tried meditation for a while, but I always ended up succumbing to distracting thoughts, with things like
that. The satisfaction of trying them out is greater than the satisfaction of continuing. I
bought some equipment because I wanted to start weight training, and I'm satisfied with that. Now I'm just listening to things. I buy things and then I'm
satisfied. I used to do that too. That's because the brain's reward system is weakened. The brain's reward system is a neural circuit in the brain that feels pleasure and motivates you. When you feel a sense of accomplishment, or praised, or eat something delicious, it becomes activated, and the neurotransmitter dopamine is released, which makes you feel pleasure. You tend to have difficulty feeling joy and pride. Of course, no matter what you do, you can't keep it up, but walking is the only thing that works. Even just walking moves your body and mind a little. It's interesting how the scenery changes with the seasons, even though you follow the same route every day. Maybe the fact that you can feel that is proof that your mind hasn't dried up yet.
Recently, I've been greeted by elementary school students walking down the street. They're probably the only people I see every day. Sometimes, just one word from them can be a lifesaver. I think it's important to have contact with others.
But if you make one wrong move, you'll be treated as a suspicious person. It's hard to know how to keep your distance. As you get older, even normal behavior can make people wary. I've been feeling a little down since the kids in my neighborhood started looking away. I've
gotten tired of interacting with people. I only use self-checkouts when I shop. On
the other hand, I deliberately go face to face. Even exchanging a few words with a store clerk makes a difference.
That just reminded me that lately, even if I make eye contact with someone at the supermarket, I don't feel like making a move. I
get that. I've been ignoring them more often. I used to care about them at first glance. Now, I just buy things even though I don't care. I'm not sure if this is a sign of kindness or resignation. I
still don't know what the right answer is, but just being able to talk to someone like this makes me feel a little better.
Nothing special happened, but today was another day that ended safely. I've come to think that's enough. Thank you for watching until the end. How do you spend your daily life? Please let me know in the comments. This channel will continue to introduce useful information for seniors. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up.